join us today. My name is John McCann. I'm Group Chief Executive of UTV. And I have with me today Michael Wilson, who's the Managing Director of UTV Television. I'm sure you've all seen our announcement earlier this morning about our plans to launch a new television station in Ireland. That station will be UTV Ireland, but on air it'll be known simply as UTV. It's a very simple, straightforward concept, and that is to provide the ITV network schedule and customised to meet the needs and preferences of Irish viewers, and to include, for example, news and current affairs. Now, I remember when I first came to Dublin as a boy, probably in the late 60s, there were two things struck me at the time. One was as you go down through Drumcondra, there was it seemed like a forest of aerials trying to pick up BBC and UTV, I guess. And the other thing actually was the hundreds and hundreds of bicycles which you used to see in and around Dublin city centre. Well, the bicycles are obviously long since gone and come back again and making a comeback, but the tall aerials are clearly a thing of the past, replaced by cable systems and of course more recently by satellite systems. But what was clear back then, and which is still true now, is that there is a strong demand for the popular entertainment and quality drama programming which the ITV network is so good at producing. So we have entered into a new agreement with ITV Global Entertainment to acquire the exclusive rights for all ITV studios produced programming. And that includes key programmes such as Coronation Street and Emmerdale, and as well as quality drama and entertainment. Now, to enable us to distribute that programming to as many homes in Ireland as possible, we would like to be on all broadcast platforms across the country. And we have therefore today applied to the Broadcasting Authority of Ireland for a content provision contract. And we look forward to working with Michael O'Keefe and his team at the BAI in developing our plans further. Although I'm not going to disclose exact figures today, this will be one of the most significant investments that UTV has ever made, representing a multi-million euro investment and creating more than 100 skilled jobs in Ireland, and of course bringing greater choice for viewers here. When UTV was launched back in 1959, so a long time ago, it was the very first commercial television channel in Ireland. Many of you will have grown up with UTV in your living rooms, and some of you may even remember the tall aerials that I referred to earlier. So UTV has been part of the social fabric of Ireland for decades, and in more recent years we have cemented our relationship with the Irish audience through our ownership of market-leading radio stations across Ireland, and including the #1 and #2 stations here in Dublin, FM 104 and Q 102. We currently employ more than 300 people here in Ireland, with a further 300 employed in Northern Ireland. We know the audience, we know the market, and we have the experience, the expertise, and indeed the resources to make this television station a success, which will be good for the viewers and hopefully also good for the economy. Now, before I hand over to Michael, it wouldn't be UTV if we didn't have a short commercial break, so we have a promotion about UTV and what we do.
Welcome to the base of modern media, with international reach and a local heart. UTV Media is one of the most successful companies in Ireland and the UK, incorporating radio, television and new media. Radio is the largest part of the UTV group. Our 7 radio stations in key urban areas in Ireland are household names and have achieved and maintained their market-leading positions, reaching more than 1 million listeners every week in Ireland. In Dublin, we own the hugely popular FM 104 and Q 102. In Cork, 96 FM and C 103. In Limerick, Live 95 FM. In counties Louth and Meath, LM FM. And in Greater Belfast, U 105. UTV Radio Solutions is our national sales house based in our Dublin headquarters. Our stations have a strong community base and excellent local knowledge, covering the stories that matter to local people in their areas. We are a major supporter of the creative industries, employing more than 600 people on the island, making us the 3rd largest company in the media industry in Ireland. UTV Television is by far the most watched channel in Northern Ireland, with more than 750,000 people tuning in every day. UTV delivers the best of the ITV network with diverse regional programmes which reflect a modern Northern Ireland. High-quality news and current affairs are at the heart of our schedule across all platforms. UTV News leads the way on television, radio, online and on mobile. In Great Britain, UTV owns 13 independent local radio stations as well as our award-winning national radio station, Talk Sport. Talk Sport is the #1 commercial speech radio station in the UK, broadcasting Premier League coverage and debate with the biggest names in sport. Talk Sport is also the global audio partner of the Premier League, broadcasting commentary in multiple languages available worldwide. Our publishing venture, Sport magazine, is the UK's largest sport title. Our new media companies in Ireland continue to lead the way with a full range of interactive services and dedicated websites. Simply Zesty, our digital agency, was founded in Dublin, and UTV Group websites attract more than 7 million unique users every month. UTV commercial teams across the island of Ireland and internationally are focused on delivering cross-platform business solutions. UTV Media PLC, radio, television, and new media.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us. This is a huge day for all of us at UTV, and really pleased you're here to share it with us. Thanks very much indeed. As John's pointed out already, UTV was the first commercial broadcaster on the island of Ireland when we launched back in 1959. Since then, UTV has gone from strength to strength, and even today, with more competition than ever, we're by far the most watched channel in Northern Ireland. In peak time, we have a share of more than 25%. In a world where there are more than 500 channels, we believe this is something to be rightly proud of. In Ireland, our daily reach is around 10%, which is impressive given that we're not as high on the EPG as we are in the north, and we're only available in 78% of homes. We're not on satellite, and of course we're not on terrestrial platforms here. So why is UTV so popular with viewers? Well, to put it simply, we're about content and our connection with the audience. High quality news and current affairs are at the heart of our schedule, and our new channel for Ireland will be driven by that same commitment to national, regional and local news on all platforms. In fact, even today there's already a Twitter account at UTV Ireland which is covering the events of today from UTV's perspectives. We cover the stories that matter to our viewers, and our plans for this new channel include, and this is our big announcement for today, the 1 hourly nightly news and current affairs programme at the heart of peak time. We introduced this type of programme in Northern Ireland a number of years ago, and it's hugely popular with both viewers and opinion formers alike. For the new channel, we'll have reporters in every corner of Ireland to ensure diverse coverage and a representation of all views. This will be a major investment in jobs, in infrastructure, and bringing local coverage to news issues across Ireland. We'll bring that news to viewers wherever they are, whether it's television, online or mobile, as well as our existing radio stations. And we'll blend our high-quality news content with the best of the ITV schedule and other key programming from around the world and other studio suppliers. We're going to follow basically the same winning formula as UTV in Northern Ireland, and that's a formula that we know works. We have the programmes that the audience wants too, the best of ITV, including Coronation Street, Emmerdale and key dramas and entertainment. This is all to come, and we aim to have the service on air in early 2015. I've said already, and John's also said, our plan is to be carried on as many platforms as possible. We want to provide real choice for the Irish viewer. This is investment in the creative industries and editorial, technical and production jobs across Ireland. UTV has faith in the Irish economy and is ready to invest in a new venture to serve our audience and our advertisers. Again, thank you very much for being here. John and myself will be around to take questions now. There's a wandering microphone, and indeed we'll do one-on-ones afterwards for those that want them. So the floor is open, and if the guys at the back can let Sarah through with the microphone, we'll take the first question. It would be helpful if you can say your name and where you're from, please. Sarah, if you can move through to the chap with the grey tie.
Hi, Brian O'Donovan from TV3. Just on the 100 jobs, can you give us the breakdown of how many technical, how many sales, and also the 1 hour programme? As of now, that is the only Irish homegrown sort of programme you'll have initially, is that correct?
Today's about the announcement of the new channel, and with that we're talking about that one programme. There'll be more information about other programming coming early next year, so all we're talking about today is that news programme. In terms of the jobs, we can give you an exact breakdown after the event, but it's broadly 50% editorial, including the technical staff. There's transmission, there's infrastructure, there's scheduling, and there's a sales team. We already have a sales team here in Dublin, and we'll be bolstering that team. The first job announcements and advertising will go out actually next week, so we're moving very quickly.
Hi, Sarah McCabe from the Irish Independent. I believe there's been a number of redundancies and UTV production in the north. Video producers recently, they were told to 16 were told to reapply for 8 jobs. Are any of them going to be redeployed here? And why do you think those employees will feel about this announcement having just been made redundant?
Okay, well your figures are miles out. It's fewer than half of that number. A number took voluntary redundancy. The major jobs in production won't be advertised until probably the summer of next year, and those individuals of course can apply for that job. One of the reasons that this restructure took place in the north is to get ready for this announcement. We need a modern, flexible production flow, and that's what we're moving to both north and south.
Sean McCurry from the Irish Examiner. Can I ask what the new channel, how will that differentiate from what is currently available? In other words, at the moment we will see Northern Ireland content at various stages of the day. Will that no longer be available to people in the Republic, and to what extent will programming actually differentiate?
Well, actually, what we do in the north is we have done for years. We essentially take an ITV network schedule and we customise it to the needs and preferences of our viewers there. And it works really well for us. And as Michael has said, we get the highest ratings in the ITV network. Our news rates twice as high as the ITV average. And we're going to really try and replicate the same thing here, except we'll be customising it to the needs and preferences of the audience here by putting in local programmes, local continuity, doing all the things that we do in the north. But essentially, the network schedule is the network schedule. So the programming that you'll be familiar with on our main channel in the north at the present time, it's the Coronation Streets and the Emmerdales and so on, will be there as part of that network schedule.
Secretary, just one, at what time is it already decided what time the 1 hour news programme will go out?
Yes, it is, but I'm going to go back to the answers for TV3. The programming conversations we'll be having next year. We know where we want to put it, but that's going to stay under wraps for the time being. It's peak time, though.
Hi, I'm just wondering, is the intention then to replace UTV's position on the Serbian platform with this new UTV and its other positions on other EPGs?
I shouldn't nod at that because we're actually not on Serbia at the moment. We'll be entering conversations with RTNL, or the Serbia provider. We are looking for strong EPG positions because we're going to offer a strong public service content for the audience. At the moment, the only platform we're on is UPC, but we haven't had any conversations with platform providers yet.
But will it replace the...
That's up to the platform provider. That's not a decision for us.
And the regulatory process for the BAI, do you expect that to be straightforward?
There are very few, the applications through Section 71 of the Communications Act, and there are very few Section 71 licences out there. This is a new venture for us. We believe it's a 3-month process. We've spoken to the BAI about this application. It was dropped off this morning. In fact, in your press packs, there's a summary of the application document. We believe that shortly after Christmas, We will find out whether we've been successful, but we believe in having dialogue with the Broadcasting Authority and look forward to working with them for a successful conclusion.
Louise Kelly from News Talk. We've had other media companies that have appeared in the past, I'm thinking of Sky, that hasn't worked out. How committed would UTV be to Ireland and to providing Irish content?
That actually is an easy one. We've been here since 1959. We intend to be here in 2059 and beyond. It's a long-term commitment. We are licensed in the north through to 2024. I'm not sure what more I can say. We've got radio stations here that have been on air for many years. Our commitment to Ireland doesn't waver.
Hi, Sinead from the Journal.ie. I was just wondering the structure of the current radio stations that we have here, will they be implicated by the decision?
Sorry, will they be?
Will there be any changes to the structure of the radio stations?
UTV Ireland, the television company, is a completely separate business to the radio stations. We will be working in parallel with them. We want to work with their journalists to gather stories. Clearly, it's pointless having duplication of resources. And there's great radio journalists working in Cork, Limerick, know their patch very well. We want to work with those people and deliver high-quality content, because there's no intention to change our model of the stations we have across Ireland.
I just want to ask you about the justification behind this and advertising revenues. I know in your most recent full year annual accounts, Irish advertising revenues were down particularly badly. So how then can you justify a move into the Irish market? More of a move into the Irish market?
Well, we're already in the Irish market. We
Yeah.
have, of course, suffered from the decline in advertising revenues in our radio stations, and indeed also in our television station as well over the last number of years. You can take a view of the market that it's going to be in eternal decline, or you can take a more optimistic view. And I tend to be a little bit more optimistic today than I would have been this time last year. There's certainly a sense of a greater confidence beginning to creep into the marketplace. It's very fragile, as we all know, but ultimately, the Irish economy will recover. I think it's in the early stages of recovery now, and we want to be here to take advantage of that, frankly.
Hello, Brian Hutton, PA. Could I just ask you, first of all, what percentage of your schedule do you plan to be Irish homegrown programming?
When we launch, the initial plan is to have the news output being delivered from studios across Ireland. As we develop the commercial model, we intend to produce, and again you'll see it in the pack that we're going to the BAI, a greater percentage of content from independent producers in Ireland, production hub here. As for percentages, we're not putting that down yet, because as I said, we'll be talking programmes in 6 months' time or so.
Who are you setting your sights on in terms of competition, and did you previously consider a bid for TV3 before this plan?
Okay, well, we're PLC and we don't comment on market and what we're doing and what we're not doing. In terms of where we see our sites, let me be absolutely clear, we are a mainstream public service broadcaster. We are aiming to go head to head with RTE and TV3. We aim to be first choice for viewers in Ireland, and that's our goal.
Trish Doherty, UTV Radio. Will you be building a new studio, and if so, where will it be based?
We are looking for accommodation. Trish, you know where we're based now, and we want to be very close to where you are. We think the space in our current radio headquarters in Dublin is probably not enough, but clearly we want to be close to work in parallel. So initially we're looking around the O2, Docklands area, but there's lots of things we have to consider. Most of all, connectivity to get signals in and out. So again, I would have thought early in the new year we'll be making announcements about that, but that we have already started to look. Any more questions? Yes, there's one here, sir.
As you know, the advertising market has been very tough for television in the Republic of late, and RTE often says that it's this distorting effect of Sky taking subscriptions, and TV3 says it's RTE's license fee that's the problem. I'm just wondering if you have any view on that, how it affects competition.
We certainly, first of all, I think competition is good for any market, and it'll be good for this marketplace, and it'll also be good for the viewers. Different competitors say different things about their. We tend not to get involved in pointing fingers at somebody else's fault. The market is what the market is, and we will try to sell as effectively in that marketplace as we can. The first and foremost thing is to deliver an audience, and a sizable audience, and that's what we intend to do, and we will then sell that audience effectively as we can to the advertising community.
Siobhan Grant, Sunday Business Post. You spoke just now about the economic uplift and how hopeful that things might improve, and that provided some of the rationale for coming here. From a company perspective, why now? What made you feel like now is the time?
Well, why now is because we were able to conclude an agreement. In fact, we concluded that agreement just yesterday afternoon with ITV Network to acquire the programming which will be key to the schedule going forward. So it's as simple as that. We were able to do a deal with ITV.
Anything further before we go to our